So,
hello.
you're
Hi,
still
Matt.
muted. Yeah, you're still muted, Matt.
Wait, there we go.
There you
All
go.
right. How are you, Matt?
Well, not too bad. This is the earliest
Good.
I've ever been on.
Yeah, it's we have a new schedule. So at this time in the morning, would you still remember how to share your screen?
Yes. There we go, like there. Hopefully like that.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. So looks like you want to talk about some crypto, Ethereum versus Bitcoin.
Yeah. Okay. It's 5:30 in the morning here. Let's see if my brain works. So here we go. So I'll start with, usually we end up doing some legacy market stuff first, and then I talk about something interesting. I think today we're going to mainly focus on crypto.
Okay.
What
a move.
Yeah, exactly. So let me just get the mic a little better. Awesome. Okay, so right about here, when the price was under this red moving average, I had made a tweet showing these W bottoms on the 4-hour chart where price had pushed below, come back up, touched the red line, come back below, and then made sort of the bottom half of a W. So my main reason for thinking that this was going to happen was just that in a strong bull market, especially since this, obviously it looks very strong on the bigger view here.
What is that red moving average? What's the time frame on it?
I don't like to share that one. It was a part of my sort of something that I have as a
selfish analyst.
Exactly.
Proprietary indicator.
So as much as things have gone up quite a lot, it hasn't shot, to an insane parabolic kind of like upshot like over here and over here, right? So my general view was that we should have a continuation back up to this level, which we have, just because bull markets tend to not peter out until it explodes generally in crypto. So and if we were to look on the weekly chart, we see that last time there was a little bit of a pause at the all-time high before shooting through. We had just a small consolidation and we shot through. Like I said, we haven't gone fully parabolic yet. Something that's interesting, if you were to say, okay, well, it's broken out, it's a new bull market.
What do you do with fresh cash here?
Yeah, so something that's interesting that non-crypto people wouldn't know, and even probably about half crypto people probably, is Three Arrows Capital. So Three Arrows generally has a pretty good beat on what's happening, and mostly what they invest in does well. So areas they're looking at is 48 and 72. And you might be saying, well, why? And that's because a lot of people in the world are realizing that huge names are very bullish in the space. Ray Dalio coming on board, people like Druckenmiller recently, Paul Tudor Jones, these are big names that are making people very interested in Bitcoin. So if we were to go back to...
If I may intervene a little bit, Ray Dalio, because I heard his interview, actually, talked about cryptos with a lot of ifs and buts and, asterisks. Because I heard his interview, I was interested. So it's not like he was like, I'm buying cryptocurrencies here and.
Yeah, he's more. I think that's kind of indicative
of style.
A lot of. Yeah, and a lot of them kind of downplay it a bit, and then you realize, all of a sudden Stan Druckenmiller is doing an interview and he's like, oh yeah, Bitcoin's cool. And, we have some like, wait a second, wait, record scratch and what is that? So I think that's just Dalio being on board at all is important to sentiment. And I think this happened with Paul Tudor Jones when he came on.
For sentiment, yes, but you just also made a point which is quite important. If you are a person that has big firepower, by firepower I mean a lot of money, there are two instances under which you might decide to, in essence, talk up any type of investment, right? Not only cryptos. One, you already own as much as you want to own. So now you want other people to also own it.
Yep.
Two, you don't intend to own it. Otherwise, why would you prop up the price of something you intend to buy in the future?
Yeah, I totally understand. Yeah, and something I was going to point to next was, if these people are coming on board, are we actually seeing it in volume? And especially with crypto, just the big moves on the blockchain itself. So there was the whole micro strategy, Michael Saylor buying, which he did a bunch of buying here. He did a bunch of buying here, and then he recently did some buying. Now, right in this candle right in here, the Christmas to New Year's sort of area, we had seen the largest outflow, one of the largest outflows ever from Coinbase. And we also are seeing Grayscale buying on some weeks, are buying Bitcoin, more than is even being mined in a week. We also know that Guggenheim has been approved, and they wanted to do up to 10%. So they've got like 5.3 billion. So they have been approved for 500 million worth of GBTC.
So we're in the stage the last 6 months or so, DJ, that we were talking about maybe a year or so ago, and that's the adoption phase, where it's before being accepted by conventional type people that the first maybe 7 years thought it was weren't sure, but really. I think it started with PayPal accepting payments with it sometime this year was really kind of lit the fuse for it.
Yeah, that definitely made a big difference. And then, along with that was people like Michael Saylor buying and Guggenheim trying to get in and things like that. So there has been more, institutional interest and these big outflows that we're seeing on the blockchain itself. Sometimes a fund or something like that will come out and say, hey, we've been buying Bitcoin, or is interested in it, like Mass Mutual is like I think it's like one of the oldest, if not oldest, mutual funds. So having people like that on board is important. So here, Metcalfe's law, when we're talking about, that just Bitcoin has been in this growth curve that has just fit the bill since the beginning. Now, this is an older chart, and just to kind of show that, it fit in the beginning of the curve, and price, we actually are right here, right now. So we're just under the bottom side of this curve. So it's kind of showing that if Bitcoin is what it is, and it's trying to do what it's actually trying to do, and if it is being adopted, we should see these type of curves, and that's what's happening. And we're seeing that now. Even as prices shot above all-time high, we're seeing huge amounts of buying at $20,000 and $30,000 with these massive outflows. So institutions are buying institutions are buying here and here, and not down here or over here, because they weren't, they didn't have the proper legal exposure to instruments or things that they could buy for their funds. And now all these things are online and approved by the SEC and whatnot. So they're able to get in the marketplace. So it seems crazy that they're buying now, but they are.
What do you make out of Modi's proposal to make Bitcoin illegal, but for the Bank of India to have their own cryptocurrency?
Yeah, I think that's sort of indicative of what's happening in like the central bank digital currencies that are being worked on throughout the world, and that's being launched in China. So I think it just goes to show that we're moving towards digital money in general. India hasn't, even though it's a large population base, hasn't been like a huge player in the crypto space. So their decisions on what they want to do doesn't really show itself on the charts. It doesn't impact the market too much, so it's not one to worry about. compared to, you know, China or Russia seems to move the charts more. So Bitcoin has broken out and is moving out, broken out and is moving out. So if we look at this as the total market cap, so this is Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the altcoins, all that kind of stuff. So on a non-log chart, it kind of looks like, okay, you know, we've blown off to the upside and, you know, maybe that's it. But if we were to hit this to a log chart, this here was after the 2013-14 high right here. So the actual 2014 high would have been, for some reason it's not printing, be around this blue line. So, you know, there was a bit of a pause here, just like there's a bit of a pause here. So if we're seeing these legitimate huge outflows, and we're seeing people like Guggenheim come into the space, and all this is, you know, legitimate, and we have this strong push to the upside to the new all-time highs, I think that makes sense why that the total market cap can keep running as well. Now, to make it kind of blow off, we would need to see more altcoins participate. So, you know, what's going to start moving well? And usually, you know, the other top movers like Ethereum are going to keep moving with Bitcoin. See with Ethereum, it has recently had a pause here at its old all-time high in US dollars, and it's just breaking through the last couple days. So that's a pretty important one. Also, Grayscale, which runs GBTC for Bitcoin, also has an investment trust for Ethereum, and that has recently opened up January 29th. And we also have CME futures being offered for Ethereum on February 8th. So now, when this happened for Bitcoin and gold originally, CME futures was kind of the shot that took the market down. So, you know, with Ethereum, that's where were we right here? With Ethereum just breaking the USD all-time high, you know, is futures going to be the top? It kind of seems like with these inflows into Bitcoin and the Grayscale Trust just opening up, that, you know, maybe we'll see people that already have crypto holdings maybe hedge their spot coins, but I don't know if we're going to see CME totally smash the market down like Ethereum, like it did to Bitcoin, just because we are just barely breaking out. Seems like it's kind of an exposure event for institutions to get on board with Ethereum and not necessarily short, because when it was Bitcoin here, this did like right here was when the CME options came out for Bitcoin, whereas for Ethereum, you know, it's just breaking the USD high. So I think this might be in a way for these players like Guggenheim that want exposure to Bitcoin to get some more proper exposure for their funds for Ethereum. Now, most things are priced in US dollars, right? And most people trade Bitcoin like the BTC USD pair, whereas a lot of the altcoins, you might trade the Bitcoin pair. So here's a chart I did for the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, basically showing most of the time Bitcoin is king. It is the one in the market that, even though things zigzag around, that Bitcoin outperforms most altcoins over the long term because it's just better technology. Now, Ethereum has been a strong number 2 ever since it's come out. Here's this classic Livermore parabola here, like a bear market down, and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then it goes off into the speculative market. So a few weeks ago or a couple months ago, I'd made this chart thinking that we were at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We had busted through that, and we were going to make a run to the top. Now we can see in this, here's a better view for people. And here's the updated one from yesterday or the day before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, where we broke through, and now we're right at the top of the cylinder. So if Bitcoin is strong and institutional interest is there, and total market cap is pushing up, and if total market cap wants to go parabolic with Bitcoin, something that is going to make the crypto total market cap go parabolic would be Ethereum outpacing Bitcoin. And I think that there's a strong technical analysis,
What do you call that Livermore chart again, DJ?
Yeah, just a Livermore speculative chart.
Okay, thanks.
So that's my thinking as to how this can continue to the upside, Bitcoin itself, and how it and Ethereum and other altcoins can then make the total market cap keep going. So if Ethereum is a better play, basically I'm saying that I think that based on this viewpoint that is now partially played out, that Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin by probably double at some point. Now, if in crypto we generally see what's it called? Rising tide takes all boats or all ships. So once a lot of altcoins and everything is, once everything is risk on, everything kind of tends to bubble together. So now that Ethereum, sort of the leader of the altcoins, is making these moves, I think other things are going to turn around too. Now, something I mentioned Grayscale earlier with GBTC and also the Ethereum Trust. They also have a couple other trusts. Ethereum Classic is another one. It looks terrible, but you're seeing here a lot of volume and a lot of buy volume coming in on this bottom. There was way more volume here compared to all through here, these kind of little bottoms. And same as all
and what's
through
this
here.
pairing again?
This is ETHBTC.
What's
so,
ETC?
Ethereum Classic. So originally, Ethereum, like there was the chain split. So technically, ETC is the original Ethereum chain. So we're just seeing a lot of interest here. These are kind of typical kind of parabolic arcs, and once they, pop over to the upside, looking for kind of like a horizontal continuation, or else like a 2/3 kind of Fibonacci retracement back down, wait for a little support and run her back up. And this sort of move in here and in here with this downward going channel kind of, again, there's potential upside, which then mirrors with Ethereum itself and other altcoins. So this was bottom of this channel here. This is like a Wyckoff thing. So 1, 2, and on your third point or fourth point or fifth points down the channel, or if it's a wedge of any kind, once you get a push below it, that accelerated selling is important, and seeing it bounce off there well. Seeing with a lot of other altcoins, these kind of bear markets, a bump last year, and then a lot of things that just kind of scooped underneath this level. And same thing here, kind of like a bear market, this push up last year. And then if you take along the bottom here, these little scoops below. So I think that these could end up being almost like Wyckoff springs. So I think people should watch these left shelves like here, or these horizontals from these old bottoms. So going across here, which is also this left shelf, or coming across the bottom from there.
What's your favorite altcoin?
I mean, I'm not married to anything. Just when it's starting to outperform Bitcoin, run a trend trade and just stack some Bitcoin. I'm not I'm not married to anything in that sense.
What are you dating?
What am I dating? Ethereum right now.
Okay.
Because of the that Livermore pattern.
No one talks about Litecoin anymore. Is there a reason?
It just doesn't. Here. There we go.
They didn't have as good of a PR.
Well,
network?
It doesn't really offer anything that Bitcoin doesn't. It's it's often been sort of like a test net for Bitcoin when they're trying out new technologies. Because if you're gonna, I don't know, if you're gonna screw something up, screw up Litecoin, not Bitcoin. So it's been fairly cyclical. I think that's just this. It could break down here a bit, and pop up to the upside, or it's just going to grind sideways through here. Is what I think. It tends to take these long channels down and then just pops and drives hard, kind of like how silver to gold, like gold will be in these nice market structures and then silver's just flying all around all over the place, and then bang, it just catches up, like the silver to gold ratio. And that's often what Litecoin does, and that's the one reason that I myself often traded other altcoins or ones that are in clearer trends or newer coins. Another thing to think of is especially, I guess it's like
someone's asking about doggy coin. Doge.
Doge. Doge or dog, yeah. Yeah, so.
Was that a joke?
No, that's real, yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
Is that a Reddit move? Squeezing?
Yeah, and also Elon
Dale,
Musk.
I'm of the opinion that probably we have a very similar definition to what a joke is.
What is it?
No, I mean you and I.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just it's a meme coin, and it is the interesting thing about Doge is it tends to have this 200 days down, 30 days up cycle, and it kind of hit. What is this?
So you could go on vacation, and the day they're going to squeeze it.
Almost. And
is there some kind of a place you can leave it when you go to vacation if the hotel doesn't permit it?
Your dog.
Yeah.
Your dog coin, yeah.
Yeah. Just.
Do you put a leash on it?
So
anyway, I love dogs.
Yeah.
Me too. All animals, actually.
Yeah.
Even humans. I mean, imagine.
So yeah, it was like the first, silly coin, and it's had regular pumps throughout the years on these cyclical marks. It was kind of not doing much, and then the Reddit thing happened, and then Elon Musk is on Twitter, and he trolls it every now and again and puts up a picture, and the price goes
He's
up.
an amazing troll, by the way, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. He can.
I mean, the guy just loves to be in the spotlight.
Exactly. So so Bitcoin up. If it can keep moving like the three arrows and other people are thinking, and especially with all this institutions and Guggenheim and all that coming in, then that means that altcoins should start to move, and Ethereum has, and it's moving to that Livermore pattern. And then once again, I'm saying to people that are more speculative and maybe making smaller position sizes, if you want to start looking at these other altcoins, not necessarily these ones, but I just picked these two to show that these patterns are very prevalent right now. And these patterns are, a bear market with this push up that had last year, bear market push up last year, and the old lows on the left-hand side, and or this shelf that's made on the left side of the bear market recently. I think that as markets come up and hit that resistance and make a little pullback, people are either going to buy the pullback of a Fibonacci in this area, or they're going to play breakouts of here. And that's my plan.
I really appreciate you coming in and showing some pretty unique stuff that Ethereum against Bitcoin, interesting. And Brock said, great job, DJ. So best way for people to follow you?
Just pop over to the Twitter there, DJ Thistle01, and you'll see links to the stuff I put up and my horrible opinions and takes on things that everyone can laugh at and go from there.
Okay. Really appreciate you stepping up and helping me out this week, man.
You betcha.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So another great
Bye.
Presentation by Matt at DJ Thistle 01. So Steve, want to remind everyone that F.A.C.E 2.0 starts in how many minutes, Steve?
In 20 minutes, but I'm going to open the room in like 5-10 minutes from now. So,
Okay.
good.
And there you'll get Blake's bias chart, and you'll get the whole team talking about what they're seeing in the markets today and answer your questions. So become a member so you could participate in that session and all other aspects of ForexAnalytix. So thank you, Steve.
Bye-bye, coach.
All right, that's a wrap, everyone. Remember, don't just count your coins, whether they're crypto or silver coins, count your blessings, and we'll be back for to wrap up the week tomorrow. Good hunting.
Ciao, ciao.
Adios.